Did your little storm knock out the power? Well, excuse me for not noticing.
Hate to disappoint you, old man Winter. Better luck next time.
If the power goes out, your Generac standby generator goes on, automatically.
Down trees? Flash floods? Is that all you've got?
Stand up to the threat of outages with Generac, and never feel powerless.
You're watching All Pro Broadcasting with Freedom Train.
When you're ready,
ServPro, how can we help?
help gets there faster. The cleanup specialists at 1-800-ServPro and ServPro.com. Helping make fire and water damage like it never even happened.
Hey, this is Garrett Smithley, driving the number 0 JD Motorsports Chevrolet, and you're watching All Pro Broadcasting.
So proudly we hail at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight.
Welcome, race fans, to the Domino's TYJ Racing Dented Fender Series live on All Pro Broadcasting for the Clash in the Past 150 here at Rockingham Speedway. This is definitely going to be a Clash in the Past. Welcoming me in the booth are two very special people. We have got our very special friend Curtis Young, the 2016 Dented Fender Truck Champion. How you doing tonight, Curtis?
Not too bad, Robert. Interesting race here tonight. I've never watched or driven a race at Rockingham, so it's going to be interesting for me.
Yes, sir, Curtis, we're happy to have you here. And also a very special guest race analyst we have in the booth tonight, Michelle Rangers. How you doing tonight, Michelle?
I'm doing good, Robert. Thank you.
Very good, very good. While these guys get ready to qualify, we got a couple of very special things for you race fans tonight. As always, we have the free pizza giveaway. We're going to let Michelle go over here in just a few minutes. But first of all, we're going to ask Michelle to go over a few exciting Rockingham Speedway track facts. A lot of you fans might not be familiar with Rockingham Speedway in North Carolina. I'm going to let Michelle go over some track facts for you real quick.
Rockingham was opened in 1965 as a flat 1-mile oval. It was extensively reconstructed in 1969 to a D-shaped high bank oval. The final NASCAR Cup Series was February 22nd of 2004, won by Matt Kenseth. And the track used to be called the Carolina Motor Speedway. And the final fact is the last truck race was won in Rockingham by Casey Kane in 2012.
Thank you very much, Michelle. Like I said, most of these fans are not familiar with Rockingham. I was at the last live 2012 race that Casey Kane won. Very exciting racetrack. It'd be great if they opened it back up. But fans and drivers, we're taking a clash in the past back in history to the 150. You're going to notice, fans, most of these trucks have got a throwback paint scheme on them. Even my truck. It'll be very interesting for you fans to follow along at home. One other thing real quick, Michelle, why don't you give us some quick Camping World Series truck facts so the fans will understand what these trucks and these drivers are dealing with tonight.
The trucks that are running tonight are the Chevy Silverado and the Toyota Tundra. The trucks are pulling 625 horsepower. It should be a fast race.
Yes, sir. Michelle, tell the fans how important it is in these trucks. You've driven them yourself. You're an avid iRacer, from what I understand from your husband, Tim, who is in the race tonight. How important is it, Michelle, for these trucks and these drivers, including myself, to keep the momentum up around any kind of track, but especially this 1-mile oval here at Rockingham?
It's very important. This track is really bumpy, and it's really warm tonight. It should be a good race.
Thank you so much, Michelle. Yes, you did mention about the track conditions. We have a track temperature of 96 degrees, fans. So these trucks and these drivers are going to have a handful as we are going through qualifying right now. Curtis, why don't you let the fans know who is at the top of the board in qualifying and who you think might be the fan favorite to win tonight?
Well, at the top of the board right now, David Washington. He's going to be in the number 6 machine tonight. He usually pilots that number 98 in the Top Shelf Cup Series. One of the top drivers up there for sure, so look for him. He actually won the 5 Flags race 2 weeks ago, the last non-official Dented Fenders race that we had here, which was, like I said, 2 weeks ago at 5 Flags. Look for him to be up front pretty much all night. And Gabriel Wood, I know he thinks he's got a pretty fast piece here tonight, and he's proved it, qualifying second so far, just not even a tenth of a second slower than David Washington. And Ralph Vandervorst, he's up there in third. So any of those three right now, they're looking pretty good. And just waiting for James Ross to take a time. I think he had some sort of connection issue. He's not in here, hasn't taken a time yet, but once he does, he's one of the better trucks on the long run. Maybe not on the short run qualifying, but
appreciate that, Curtis. Yes, hopefully he'll get his connection figured out real quick. And Michelle, if you'll take about a minute and explain to the fans how they can win the free pizza, and then Curtis, if you go through the starting lineup.
The first fan to pick tonight's winner before lap 74 wins a free Domino's large 3-topping pizza, carry out only. You can text 919-883-7497 or text your pick in the live chat to win.
All right, Curtis, how does that starting lineup look?
thanks, Robert. We'll let you get buckled up and ready to go here. Definitely take note of all these drivers' retro paint schemes as we run down the starting grid here. Gonna note a couple of them, but not all of them. Just take note that most of them are retro paint schemes from days gone by, as we are to track from days gone by. So David Washington in the 6 machine taking the pole here tonight. 22.590. Gabriel Wood in the number 00. Windview Games Chevrolet Silverado is going to roll off to his outside in second place. Ralph Vandervorst in the number in the number 66. Phillips number 66 Chevrolet Silverado. He's going to roll off in third place tonight. Buzz Moore to his outside in the Dale Earnhardt Jr. retro paint scheme Budweiser truck. Fifth place is going to go to Shane Parrish in his number 81 machine, with Tyler Chalk to his outside in the number 4. Jeff T. Martin in the number 76 rolls off in 7th tonight, with JP Arsenault starting in 8th. Gerald Campbell in the number 60 tonight starting in 9th, with Eric Stanford starting in 10th. Gary Sexton in his number 17 truck rolls off just outside the top 10 and 11th spot tonight. William Davis 12th. Mark Jackson 13th. Judd Danielson in the 85, he's starting 14th. Craig Lerman 15th. Kyle Kammer 8th. Tim Rangers starting in 17th tonight in his number 70. The 28 of Ronald Klein rolls off in 18th tonight, with Giovanni Bromanti right behind him in his number 89. Vernon Margheim rounds out your top 20. William Locklear starting 21st here tonight, with Wesley Whitfield to his outside. Sean Kalis in the 45 starting in 23rd. The 24th position will go to the number 38 of Andrew Kessler. Ivan Garcia rolls off in 25th. Gene Collum starts 26th tonight, with Ray Richer starting 27th. The rest of these drivers did not take a qualifying time. That's Dylan Jones in the 31, James Ross in the 61, Donald Stewart in the 78 starting 30th. We'll get to the rest of these drivers later. The pace car is pulled off. David Washington gets on the loud pedal. Here we go. 147 laps we have here tonight from Rockingham. Gabriel Wood side by side with Ralph Vandervorst. They're battling for that second position, and Gabriel Wood gets up into the wall ready out of turn 2 on lap 1. You can get a little bit of fender damage on that Windview Games Menard Chevrolet. Fall back to about 4th position by the time they hit the stripe, and that looked like a pretty decent lick. They should be able to get that damage repaired, and we're at a mile, just over a mile track here, so aerodynamics don't mean the most, but definitely not going to help them. So looking for other battles out throughout the track here, and David Washington's just pulled out a big lead, 7/10 of a second, and looking for side-by-side battles. A lot of these guys have single-filed out for the most part. It looks like William E. Moore in that number 58 was side-by-side with Sean Kalis there as they came out of turn number 2. William E. Moore takes that position, and Ray Richer looks like he was trying to drive it in hard there. Look for the crossover move on number 72 by Ivan Garcia. Not able to get the run off, though. I might mention that these two corners are two completely different ends of the racetrack. You come off of turn 2, the wall comes up a lot faster than it does coming out of turn 4. You come out of turn 4, there's a lot of playing field there. You can makes for a lot of opportunities to pass, and backstretch, it's a lot harder to get that run on somebody, but you can really put the truck anywhere you want on that front stretch. I'm going to check in on Robert McFarland in the number 97 Sharpie Chevrolet Silverado. It looks like guys back there in that number 32 position. He's below the number 78 truck right now. That's Donald Stewart in the Boston Red Sox Chevrolet Silverado here tonight. Looks Robert McFarland is looking to get clear of him right now. Robert's going to help us a little bit under the yellow flags when he gets a chance. Still got a copy here to the booth, so as long as he keeps rolling strong, he'll be out there on the track, and doesn't get an opportunity to do it that often, so I'm happy to see him out there. He's rocking the the Kurt Busch retro paint scheme, as you guys can see.
Yeah, thank you there, Curtis. Luckily, I got around a couple of trucks. I'm just trying to stay ahead of this fast Dave Washington and the number 6.
And the 71 is down on the apron in turns 1 and 2. All these guys have their numbers changed up here tonight to accommodate for their paint schemes. That's Wesley Whitfield in the 71. Bear with me if I don't have these drivers' names exact right off the bat. We did have a great battle for about, I think it was about 15th to 18th there, and that's where the 71 of Wesley Whitfield got into the bed. It looks like Vernon Margheim is 33. He's around on the backstretch. I'm not sure if that's going to trigger a caution. That is. So go back and take a look what that set that off for the 33 of Vernon Margheim. It looks like actually the 28, that's is that Gerald Heffley? Normally that's Gerald Heffley. The 28 is Ronald Klein tonight. Ronald Klein, he got in the wall a little bit off turn 2, and Vernon Margheim, I think, saw it coming, saw that the 28 was going to get up into the wall, had a lot of wheel into it, trying to keep it a truck length off, or a truck width off the wall. Back end just came around and did a pretty good job avoiding hard impact, but slapped the back end pretty good. He should be alright. Keeps it going, triggers the caution nonetheless. I think you'll see a lot of these guys come down pit road 10 laps into this race here.
Yeah, when I saw the, like you said, the 33 spun, I don't know if he got any damage or not there, Curtis, but he looked like it went right down pit road right away. I don't think anybody else was really involved with much damage at all.
Yeah, just a one-car incident there, and he was actually below the racing surface, so I'm a little bit surprised that the caution did trigger. It's like pretty much everybody come down pit lane here. I don't see anybody staying out. Dave Washington leads him down. Now, if you notice there, Dave Washington, Andrew Kessler, and James Ross, all three of them have a carburetor, or sorry, a breather on their head there with the 427 cubic inch logo there. Pretty cool. On the hood, all three of them. So Dave Washington's in that Frank Kelly M. Troyer Toyota Tundra.
Michelle, maybe you can take this chance to give the fans the details one more time on how they can win that free pizza.
Absolutely. Tonight, the first person to pick the winner of tonight's race will win a large 3-topping pizza from Domino's, carry out only, if you text your pick to 919-883-7497 or text your pick in the live chat. You could be the winner.
Oh, and Robert, you have stayed out on the track.
Yeah, this will probably be my last time doing this.
Looks like, yeah, everybody behind you's got fresh tires, so you'll be on about, I think it was crossed on to lap 10 when that caution flew. They're 10 lap disadvantaged tires with the entire field behind you. We'll see how safely they can make it by you, or if you can manage to hold on to that lead. Lights are off on the pace car, and David Washington can roll off onto the outside of Robert McFarland. We'll see if he looks to get clear before they even exit turn 2. Robert McFarland is the control car, so see if he waits till the green flag here. I'm not sure when the green flag flies compared to where the pace car actually pulls off. Looks like McFarland gets a good jump. His number 97 Sharpie machine, David Washington, holds on to that second position for the time being. Buzz Moore right behind them, battling with that number 60 Winn-Dixie machine of Gerald Campbell. Gerald Campbell usually drives the number 6 truck, but he's added a 0. Oh, and Buzz Moore into the back of Robert McFarland a little bit. They keep it straight, 3 wide on the front stretch. It looks like Gabriel Wood, Robert McFarland, and Buzz Moore 3 wide. It looks like Gabriel Wood might have backed out of it a little bit there. He knows 3 wide, following him down into turn 2. Maybe not the best idea there. Buzz Moore making the pass to McFarland on the outside. McFarland pulls down onto the bottom and lets quite a few trucks by. He knows that everybody's quite a bit faster. He doesn't want to cause a wreck right now. They're going 3 wide, trying to get around him on a tight track like this can be a little bit dangerous, but Gerald Campbell and Gabriel Wood side by side right now battling for that 3rd position. Gerald Campbell to the inside, Gabriel Wood on the outside. Campbell looks to get clear as they hit turn 3, and he does. Ralph Vandervorst follows suit, and he clears Gabriel Wood before they even exit turn 4 there, and Gabriel Wood back to that 5th position, and he's got Tyler Chalk in the number 4 hot on his heels. Behind them, Eric Stanford. He's in the Tide Toyota Tundra tonight. So Tide has been that is just a classic scheme in NASCAR right there. So good choice for Eric Stanford on a retro paint scheme night at an old NASCAR track that doesn't get used for NASCAR anymore, unfortunately. And behind them, Shane Parrish. He's in the McDonald's Big Mac and Reese Pieces Toyota Tundra tonight. Notice a lot of these trucks also have that dented fenders logo on the top of the windshield, and that looks really good. I hope everybody decides to do that. It makes it look super legitimate. And behind Shane Parrish in that number 7 machine tonight, William Davis is riding in the 8th position. That's Lycos, I believe that is. So correct me if I'm wrong, I've never heard of that. Chevrolet, never heard of that company. Lycos or Licos, one of the two. It's a pretty decent looking paint scheme with, and he's got Jeff T. Martin driving the Bush truck behind him with Mark Jackson. He didn't even have to change his paint scheme for retro paint scheme night. He always drives that Good Wrench number 3 in memory of Dale Earnhardt, I'm sure, and he's made his way up into the top 10. He started in 13th tonight. We're only 21 laps into the race, so he is. Caution is out, and it looks like the 28 of Ronald Klein goes around.
Yes, sir, fans. We'll get the replay pulled up in just a minute. For the second time I've had a windshield full of smoke and a truck in front of me spinning out. Let Curtis and Michelle go over what happened there.
Yeah, actually, I think that was. I mean, the 28 got into the wall. I think that was the second time he's done that out of turn 2. The first time it caused Vernon Margheim to kind of get loose and hit the wall. This time it caused his own self to go up and hit the wall. So not a good first 20 laps for that total Chevrolet Silverado. He might be totaled if he keeps that up. So not the best start to his night. Hopefully it gets better for Ronald there. Be interesting to see if all these guys pit or if they think this trend of cautions is going to continue and track position will become more important. Keeping an eye on David Washington. He's on his way down the pits, and it looks like most everybody's following him. So see if anybody decides to stay out this time. I think I do see one person actually staying out, trying to get a view of that car.
Yes, sir, Curtis. I think that caution was the 28. I think he might have been the only vehicle involved there, though.
Yeah, and 72, that's Ivan Garcia normally. That is Ivan Garcia in that Tide truck tonight. So we have two Tide Dawn trucks out here tonight. Ivan Garcia and Eric Stanford. It looks like Ivan Garcia has stayed out on the track, and Ivan's one of those guys who likes to stay out, lead a lap for that extra point. But this isn't a points race, so I do believe he's staying out there in order to try and lead more than just the one lap. So got Mark Jackson behind him. I think Mark might have stayed out as well. And Buzz Moore and David Washington come out behind them. I'm not sure if Buzz Moore just took 2 tires on that pit stop, because David Washington did go in ahead of that number 11 Budweiser machine.
Yeah, I tell you what, Michelle, do you have any observations so far, or has this race played out to what you were expecting?
This is a tough track. It's bumpy. Some of the turns are pretty tight, and you know there's a lot of people that hit that wall. So it's a tough track to drive for these drivers.
And your husband, he's in that number 70 Ever-Ready Chevrolet Silverado tonight. Qualified in 17th, he's fell back to 19th. Not sure if you've been keeping an eye on him, but what do you think his chances are of getting up there inside the top 10? Maybe even grabbing that extra bonus $20 for rocking the retro paint scheme and finishing the highest.
Well, I think he likes to kind of lag behind a little bit and then work his way up slowly through the race. I think he might hit it around 10th maybe tonight.
And he's missing his spotter, I do believe, so he's got to rely on that iRacing.com spotter, which we all know is not the greatest at the best of times. So
Indeed.
Ivan Garcia is going to lead the field to the green flag this time. We got 2 tied trucks within the top 5 rows here, so let's see if those guys can get up there and hog up the front row. Ivan Garcia, the control truck, this time by. He goes as soon as the pace car pulls off. Mark Jackson almost looks like he started in the wrong gear. David Washington is already to his outside, and Washington started back in that 5th or 6th position, I do believe. So Mark Jackson didn't get the greatest start there. Ivan Garcia still holding on to that lead though as they come around turns number 3 and 4. He's going to be able to hold on to it for that one lap, and caution is out again as Buzz Moore was inside it. Buzz Moore was inside of Ivan Garcia there, and the caution came out. Garcia will hold on to the lead. Looks like Sean Kalis in the number, Gabriel Wood, Sean Kalis, and Vernon Markheim, I do believe, 3 wide into turn number 3. They also have the number 4 ahead of them. Looks like Gabriel Wood just saw the number 4 of, I do believe that's William Locklear, go through around the outside there. If Sean Kalis thought he could go, and just the 45 and the 00 came together. There wasn't too much room there, not a lot either driver could do. There's not a lot of grip on the very top of the track. Gabriel Wood was trying to rail it around the outside there and just needed a little. And it looks like the 28 truck's luck has come to an end. Ronald Klein, smoke billowing out from that number 28 machine. Looks like the motor is actually expired because actually it hasn't. He'll be pulling down to that pit stop into his pit box, and he'll have some oil line repair, radiator replacement of some sort to do, and maybe some sheet metal bending, some welding. So a lot of repair going to be needed on that number 28 of Ronald Klein. Bad luck for him tonight, just not the race he wanted, and I think everybody pretty much stayed out. Ivan Garcia actually held on to the lead that last time by. I think he came down pit lane. He knew that everybody was coming behind him with those fresh tires, and just wasn't going to be able to hold on for much longer. Same thing as McFarlane did earlier, just didn't want to cause a wreck too early. I think I've seen 2 or 3 times now people going 3 wide, which on the front stretch there's lots of room for that, but as you funnel into turns 1 and 2, if you don't get it figured out by about halfway through turn 2, you're going to see what we just saw. So
yes sir, Curtis, if you will give the 45 the EOL there, he claimed that caution. And I'm back here in the back again. This is a real quick in-race reporter. Michelle is think they're having some weather there in the Rangers' home.
Indeed, we are.
Yes, Michelle, if you and Tim have got to take cover, we do understand there's some threatening weather there.
Seems to be holding off right at the moment.
Very good, very good. I did get a lap lead, and hopefully I can maintain here in the back of the pack. I'll let you take the green flag there, Curtis.
Yeah, green flag is out. Buzz Moore gets them going this time by, and he's going to hold the lead down at turn 1 there. Oh, and a little bit of contact back in the pack there. It looked like it's number 60 of Gerald Campbell and Eric Stanford maybe. David Washington battle for the lead. He looks to get clear of Buzz Moore before they even hit turn 4. He does. He's clear by about 2 truck lengths. So David Washington is on rails tonight. He doesn't run the truck very often, so he says, and he's definitely more of a cup car driver. He drives the cup car and the national car a lot more than this Xfinity car and this Camping World truck. So he's not that experienced in the Camping World truck, but it doesn't seem to matter. He's just so good that...
Truck spinning down the pit road. Truck spinning down pit road. Sorry, I missed that. A green truck. My bad.
It didn't see who that was. It looks like that might have been Gabriel Wood, actually. It wasn't Gabriel Wood, actually. Didn't see who that was, Robert.
Yeah, no problem. My bad. I'm back here in the back, and there's all kinds of battles with 3 wide, 4 wide. This is exciting.
And it looks like... Oh, contact with the number 38 of Andrew Kessler and the 66 of Ralph Vandervorst in side-by-side battle now. That's Shane Parrish, Mark Jackson, Andrew Kessler, and that's William Davis in the number 7 truck tonight. They're all side-by-side. You could throw them under a blanket. They're battling for that about 5th through 8th position. A lot of these guys' lines, they float up coming through the corner, and some of the other guys just hold that yellow line, so that can be a little bit of a recipe for disaster when these guys are side by side. And Mark Jackson drifts up a little bit there, just like I said. Looks like the 76. That's Jeff T. Martin tonight in the Bush machine. He tries to make a move on Mark Jackson on the outside there, not going to be able to make it work. Judd Danielson to the inside of Jeff T. Martin. Judd Danielson in the 5-hour Energy Chevrolet Silverado tonight, and actually that might not be 5-hour Energy, but he is battling hard with Jeff T. Martin. That's the Georgia Boot 5-hour Energy Peak Visine Chevrolet Silverado. I think I got just about every sponsor on that truck. Judd makes the pass on Jeff T. Martin. He's made his way below that number 38 machine now, and looking to make the pass on Andrew Kessler in the Jerry Cook Chevrolet Silverado here tonight, and Judd Danielson is on the move, so maybe Judd Danielson's figured something out. I'm not sure how much experience he has on this track. I know a lot of guys pretty green to this track. I've heard that a couple of these guys just got this track in order to run the race. They had never ran this track at all before, so...
I'm telling you what, Curtis, we've got a great showing for a track that most people do not have. We did have at least a dozen guys step up and buy this track. We are going to be racing here again August 23rd, fans, in another non-points race. You want to make sure you tune in. And speaking of that, we're going to be having another throwback race tomorrow night. It is our what's it called, Curtis? Our Xfinity race tomorrow night is the Premier Pioneer 200 from Pocono. That's going to be an exciting race, the Tricky Triangle. We did some laps there, and I tell you what, it is a tricky track. And I will not be racing tomorrow night. I'll be back in the booth. But fans, you do not want to miss that race. It'll be another chance to win a free large 3-topping Domino's pizza.
And I was just watching Gary Sexton and Kyle Kammer battle it out there pretty good. Gary Sexton in that ASC Chevrolet Silverado here tonight, and Kyle Kammer in the Quaker State number 8. So they just had a good little battle there for that 14th position. For now, Gary Sexton will get the spot. And behind them, Dylan C. Jones. He's in the number 31. He's actually in that exact same truck, Quaker State, number 31. He's didn't take a qualifying time here tonight. Started in 28th. He's up to that 18th position, looking to make the move on Gabriel Wood, and Gabriel Wood is below the number 33 of Vernon Margheim. Margheim clears him as they head into turn 2. Gabriel not able to quite hold on to that momentum. Gabriel, do believe, had a little bit of an incident and fell back in the pack a little bit there. He's going to have to make his way back up. He's working hard on making his way around Vernon there.
And one thing I'm noticing is the leader is coming.
And Donald's, we have a big battle for 23rd, 24th, 25th. It looks like Ivan Garcia, JP Arsenal, Donald Stewart, and Gio Bromanti. Wesley Whitfield behind them as well. They're all nose to tail. They were side by side just a second ago. Looks like 29 truck JP Arsenal is below the number 72 of Ivan Garcia as they head down into turn 1. Coming out of turn number 2, Ivan Garcia trying to make that high side work. He clears them. The number 78 of Donald Stewart gets into the wall a little bit behind them. Giovanni Bromanti gets the run right on the back bumper, drifts it up a little bit, arcs it, gets the run below that number 78 truck. And a lot of these guys are making their runs coming out of turn 4. Gio Bromanti in the number 89 looks to get clear of Donald Stewart. He gets clear and the 29's in the wall. JP Arsenal hits the wall at turn 2, and turn 2 is a danger spot tonight. JP Arsenal also in that ASE CarQuest Chevrolet Silverado. Exact same paint scheme that number 17 of Gary Sexton is running here tonight. He's side by side with Wesley Whitfield, and behind them, Mike Donahue. Glad to see him back in the field here tonight. He's just let Tyler Chalk by, it looked like there. Mike is in the number 700 Bud Light Lime Chevrolet Silverado, and yeah, just a lot of classic paint schemes out here tonight. Robert McFarland trying to chase down Mike Donahue here for that. Looks like Donahue actually is a lap down, so looks for McFarland to make that pass on Donahue when he gets to the back bumper, and Robert McFarland just barely makes it by that as the leaders were coming out. Donald Stewart goes around coming out of turn 2. Robert, do you need a new driver's suit?
Yeah, I need a new driver's suit, absolutely. That was, I thought for sure I'd get collected in that one. I just barely stayed in front of the leader. Wow.
Yeah, and Robert McFarland, you're getting ready to let the leaders by there, I'm sure. And around goes Donald Stewart, so Buzz Moore actually gets into them. And not the worst damage you could have, but Buzz Moore is going to lose a lot of positions off that.
It's been a great race so far. I think these drivers need to save their tires.
Yeah, this track is it's a really bumpy one as all these drivers head down pit lane. David Washington at the head of the field still. This is a really bumpy track, so if you overdrive the corners, you just slide the heck out of these tires and you can burn them up real quick. So tire conservation is key on a track like this, and David Washington is the king of tire conservation. He is headed down pit lane into that first pit stall in his number 6 machine. He slides into the box perfectly, and right sides are up. One tank of Sunoco race fuel is going in, and the left sides are up. The second tank of Sunoco race fuel is going in, although I'm not sure they're going to need it. Windshield tear-off comes off. He makes it out just out in front of that number 24, Eric Stanford. Jared Campbell looks like follows him out in that Winn-Dixie Toyota Tundra. A lot of these guys' numbers are really confusing. He normally drives the 6. William Davis, he's not normally in the 7 machine tonight. Ralph Vandervorst, he's in his normal number. Jeff T. Martin, he's not in his normal number. Neither is William E. Moore, I don't. Actually, I think William E. Moore is in his normal number, so nonetheless, a lot. Yeah, I figured a lot of these number changes were just because they changed it for retro paint schemes.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Curtis. We had a lot of guys getting together and asked if they could borrow another guy's number. For example, Gerald Campbell gave up the number 6 for Dave Washington. I think the Aegis Motorsports team is using a retro paint scheme from 3 different drivers that ran together. So we had a lot of guys agree to give up different numbers, and hopefully we don't have any duplicates in here. I haven't heard of anybody being upset, and I think the 78 claimed that one there, Curtis, if you want to give him EOL.
Yeah, no duplicates, I don't think, but just a little bit confusing from the drivers that you've come to know their number by. So
yeah, I tell you what, it is a little confusing.
Just one race here for this throwback paint scheme, so
yeah, Michelle.
A lot of these guys still have their same numbers, so it's just as confusing when they have the number that somebody else normally has. But looks like the lights are off on the pace car, so 1 lap to green.
Yes, Michelle, if you'll give the fans, we've got about 20 laps, 22 laps before the halfway. If you will let the fans know one more time how they can win that free pizza, Michelle, thanks.
Tonight, the first fan to pick the winner before lap 74 wins a free Domino's large 3-topping pizza, carry-out only. Text your pick to 919-883-7497 or text it in the live chat.
Thank you, Michelle. Hopefully that big storm went around your particular neighborhood, and you and Tim will be good to go tonight.
It's passed.
Excellent. That's good to hear. All right, Curtis, I'll let you take this restart.
David Washington, the control car on this restart. Eric Stanford to his outside. In the Tide machine, number 24, Toyota Tundra. Pace car pulls off. David Washington gets a good restart. Gerald Campbell follows suit. He's side by side with Eric Stanford already as they head down into turn number 1 and 2. Gerald Campbell actually gets clear. Stanford might have gave him that position trying to avoid getting stuck on that outside lane here. Still looking for battles. It looks like Mark Jackson clears that number 76 of Jeff T. Martin. Martin right on the bumper as they head down to turn number 1, and everybody getting things single filed out. Tim Rangers side by side with Judd Danielson right now. Danielson into the wall on the outside. Can they keep it straight behind them? I think everybody saw that wreck coming. The number 9 is down low on the apron. That's Gene Collum. Not quite sure what happened with Gene, but the 85 of Judd Danielson got into the wall when he was side by side with number 70 of Tim Rangers, and a little bit of a mistake from Judd Danielson that you don't see too often, but should be able to get that damage repaired. We saw Gabriel Wood get into the wall a little bit, and his truck's still quick. So, and now Robert McFarland making the pass on Judd Danielson. Robert McFarland has made his way all the way up to that 17th position. So Robert started in 32nd tonight. I know these guys did a practice run on, I believe it was Sunday. Robert got the W over a lot of these drivers in this field. So a little bit of a sleeper pick here tonight for some of you guys. If you were interested in picking Robert, he did win a qualifying race earlier this week here with quite a few of these drivers that were in the field. So the truck looks like he's almost gotten the wall up ahead of Robert. I'm not sure if that was Tyler Chalk or Tim Rangers, but Tim Rangers has made his way back up to the 15th position. Or the 16th position, sorry, last time we checked on him, he was in 19th position. Robert McFarland looking hot on his tail, looking to gain some ground. And behind them, we have a Hornet's Nest around 20th spot. Looks like Vernon Margheim diving below Ray Richer. Turn 4 in that Valvoline NOS Toyota Tundra. Vernon Margheim normally drives GTR Simulators truck, changing up that paint scheme for tonight. Behind them, we still have Battle for 23rd, Buzz Moore, Andrew Kessler, James Ross, Kyle Kammer. They're 2x2, and looks like James Ross looking to get clear of Buzz Moore, heading down into turn 1. James Ross, he's normally pilots that number 51 truck, and really good truck on the long run. So look for him to advance his position from 22nd. Buzz Moore battling hard though. He was up there at the front of the pack before. He's got a little bit of damage on his right front, but he's got a fast truck looking to gain ground back. And behind them, the Quaker State number 8 of Kyle Kammer, side by side with Andrew Kessler. He gets clear as they head down the Thunder Alley backstretch. And Mike Donahue still riding around in that 31st position in the Bud Light Lime number 700 with Craig Lerman right behind him. He's in the 25th position in the DuPont Pepsi Chevrolet Silverado. So a lot of these retro paint schemes looking real good tonight. Gene Collin behind them in the 26th position. He's in the Gulf Lowe's Toyota Tundra. Pretty cool looking baby blue and orange paint scheme. Stands out quite a bit there. And that number 9. Sean Kalis, he's in the Pennzoil Team Penske number 45 truck here tonight. And as I mentioned before, Ivan Garcia in the number 72 Tide Chevrolet Silverado. Looks like Sean Kalis got a little bit tight there coming out of turn 2. Might have scraped the wall a little bit. Ivan Garcia on his back bumper. They're side by side now. I'm not sure if they're even on the same lap. Garcia makes the pass. I do think Kalis is a couple laps down, and Garcia at the tail end of the lead lap there. David Washington though, he's coming up on lap traffic. First lap traffic truck that he's going to hit is going to be Sean Kalis. And we have a truck low on the apron. That's Mike Donahue. Mike Donahue has smoke billowing from his Chevrolet Silverado. Not sure if we can go. Oh, and if we can go back and look at a replay of Mike Donahue coming out of turn 2 last time by there. He had a rough ride in that Chevrolet Silverado. I'm not even sure how that truck is still driving. He went up and over, barrel rolled about 10 times in that Bud Light Lime Chevrolet Silverado. Brutal hit for the number 700 of Mike Donahue.
Yeah, hopefully he had his Hans device tight, had his helmet tight, and hopefully he'll live to race another day.
I'm sure he'll live to race another day. He did drive his truck back to the pits somehow. But David Washington holding strong out in the lead there. Eric Stanford not too far behind him though.
Yeah, real quick, Curtis, Michelle, if you will give the fans one last time the information on how to win the free pizza. They got about 6 laps.
The first fan tonight to pick the winner will receive a free Domino's 3-topping large pizza, carry-out only. Text your pick to 919-883-7497 or text it in the live chat.
Obviously, we got a lot of picks, guys and ladies. We'll not tell you who those are right now. Just make your best pick. And Curtis, this race right now is looking like it's got a green flag run to it. I will give you a behind the steering wheel, quick update on the track. I had gained a few positions. I've lost a few back here 19th, but I feel like I'm safely in front of the leader, at least for now. But if we have another long green flag run, which we might have, I could be in jeopardy of going a lap down, which I'm trying to avoid. And the track has got a lot of rubber belts up on it now, Curtis and Michelle. I'm having more and more trouble keeping the truck going straight, especially coming out of the corners. I'm having to let off the gas sooner going in. I'm having to use a little bit more brake, and I'm having to be a little bit more careful on the gas coming out of the corners.
I'm sure the track temperature has something to do with that tonight.
Yes, yeah. I'm sure. Go ahead, Curtis.
Yeah, I was going to say 96 degrees is definitely pretty slick. Definitely when you throw bumps into the mix, you just never really know what to expect. It's hard to know exactly where all those bumps are, as looks like Buzz Moore making the pass on Robert McFarlane, setting his sights on Tim Rangers for that 18th position. And yeah, the hotter the track is, the more the slicker is just going to get over the long run. And I mean, more rubber it gets built up, as Robert said, the harder it gets to kind of drive where you want to drive. So yeah, I mean, everybody's going to be dealing with the same thing. It's going to make it a little bit harder to keep it off one another, but right now it looks like we've been running clean and green for about 20 laps, so that's the longest run we've had here tonight, I do believe. We went green flag from about lap 29 until 49, so we're almost due for another caution. I don't want to jinx it, but if we make it any farther, it looks like this will be our longest run of the night. Back up front, David Washington still pulled out to a 5/10 of a second lead over Eric Stanford. Navigating through lap traffic, Judd Danielson is going to be his next victim to go a lap down in his Visine 5-hour energy peak antifreeze Chevrolet Silverado. So Judd Danielson is definitely probably hoping for a caution right now, because he doesn't want to go a lap down, and he knows he's got trucks pretty close in front of him that he wouldn't be able to hold on to that lucky dog spot for very long. So David Washington closing the gap, Judd Danielson hoping for a caution at any moment, I'm sure. And I think these guys' fuel load is probably, I'm going to say it's probably about 60 to 70 laps if these guys can go green. Judd Danielson yielding to David Washington there, going one lap down is the 85 of Judd Danielson. But yeah, I've not, like I said earlier in the race, I have never ran a race or even watched a race here at Rockingham, and I have no clue how long the fuel run is, but
yes, sir, Curtis. We did some practice laps. Sorry about that for interrupting you. I got a second here. I can speak quick. We can get about 70, maybe 75 laps.
And there we have it. And the 7 truck is around. That's William Davis. Oh, hard hit for William Davis. He's into the pit wall barrier.
Looks like we're staying green.
Get a replay of that number 7 of William Davis. It looks like he just clipped the apron coming out of turn 4 there. Headed it straight towards the pit road entrance, and just nowhere else he could turn for that number 7 of William Davis. Hard hit, and I'm sure that's not going to be good for William Davis. That's going to at least amount to a busted radiator, and he'll at least miss a few laps at the very minimum. I'm going to guess it's going to be a lot longer than that.
Yes, sir, Curtis. So we're about, what, 25 laps on these tires?
Yeah, you guys have coming up on about, actually you guys almost have about 30 laps on this run, so.
Yeah, that's one thing my crew chief is telling me. We're absolutely going to get 4 brand new Goodyear Eagles, and probably only 1 can of Sunoco racing fuel on this next pit stop, whether it's green or under caution.
Yeah, and you guys are coming up on the halfway point of your pit stop. You have 150 or 147 laps scheduled here for tonight. You guys could make it pretty much at any time pitting from now on. So if anybody does think that this race is maybe going to go green flag to the end, we might see somebody try and short pit. Never know. Right now would be a little bit early to make that short pit call, but I think it would you'd still not really gain the time that you need to gain when you have to stay out there for a full 70 laps on those tires. It would pretty much balance itself back out. So I think you'll see a lot of these guys wait at least another 10 to 15 laps before they decide to come in and short pit.
Yeah, maybe you or Michelle, either one, can let us know, the fans know, who are some of the biggest movers so far.
Sure thing. Taking a look right now, Eric Stanford, he qualified in 10th position. he's up there in second position, as he has been for quite a while there, so that's a gain of 8 positions for that number 24 Tide machine tonight. Mark Jackson started in the 13th position. He's gained 11 spots. He's up to 4th. Dylan C. Jones, teammate to that number 6 of David Washington. Aegis Motorsports driver, I do believe. He's in the number 31 tonight. He started in 28th. He's all the way up to 6th. So that's a gain of 22 positions, and he's on the charge towards his teammate, that number 6 of David Washington. Another driver, William E. Moore, in the number 58. He started in 31st, and he's up to 8th. It's a gain of about 23 spots there. So lots of drivers moving up quite a few positions, and showing that qualifying hasn't really mattered too much here tonight when it comes to a long race at a high banked short track like this, where I mean, the front stretch just offers a lot of opportunities to pass. You can kind of, it's D-shaped, you can kind of cut it short and dive it into turn 2 there, get below somebody, and if you can make it stick, that seems to be the place to pass. So David Washington out front here to a 7/10 of a second lead. He actually lost 3/10 of a second that last time by. I didn't see if he was passing a lap truck there. Slow truck on the apron. That's the number 8 of Kyle Kammer.
That's the second time I think he's gone around.
So Kyle Kammer goes around, I do believe, and doesn't trigger a caution. I didn't see if he actually went around, or if he just kind of went half around and was slow on the apron. So just caught the tail end of him.
Yeah, he was right behind me, about to pass me, and I think he got in there a little bit too hot. He got loose coming off the corner, but I do think he was able to correct it without much damage. But I could use a caution right now, Curtis and Michelle. If you could get one to come out, that'd be awesome.
David Washington actually putting his teammate of James Ross a lap down right now. Not very characteristic of James Ross to be going laps down, so I'm sure James would like a caution. He'd be in the lucky dog position, and I think David Washington might lap just about everybody except for the top 10 by the time this race is over if we don't get a caution. He is absolutely on rails in that Toyota Tundra. Says he doesn't drive the truck too much, but he's still taking everybody to school here in his Camping World dented fenders Toyota Tundra.
I tell you what, he is closing on me very fast, sir. Michelle, go ahead.
He's doing a great job. His truck is amazing tonight.
Yeah, I mean, any piece of equipment that David Washington puts on the track usually ends up leading some laps and winning the race quite a number of times. So not surprising to me at all. And I finished second to him a couple weeks ago at 5 Flags. There was nothing I could do to catch him other than pull him into the pits and put him back in 30th spot or something, which I don't think was going to work. Nobody was going to really give up the track position anyway. And yeah, it's he's tough to beat. I mean, Eric Stanford is doing a really good job staying within reach of him, as well as Shane Parrish. Shane Parrish trying to battle hard to get by that number 24 of Eric Stanford right now. And Eric Stanford gets up into the wall, actually. Looks like Shane Parrish is going to get by.
Yeah, it's still anybody's race tonight.
Yeah, definitely still anybody's race. I mean, I think we might see some green flag pit stops starting soon. Dylan Jones has made his way all the way up to the 4th position. He's 2.8 seconds behind David Washington right now, so keep note of that. Number 31 of Dylan Jones, 2.8 seconds back with about 48 laps to go here, I do believe. So, actually, just over 53 laps to go. Sorry, and we'll see if he can gain some time on his teammate there. He's 2.5, so he is gaining on David Washington. David Washington has been leading all night. Dylan Jones started at the back of the pack, and he might just be able to work his way up to that teammate of his without a caution, and might use some pit strategy to do it. Shane Parrish has made his way up to, and David Washington, I think, has brought his way down pit lane. Not sure what happened with David Washington, but looks like Shane Parrish has made his way all the way up to the back bumper and actually made the pass. Gonna go back and see if I can find what happened with David Washington there.
Yeah, they were both right behind me. I thought David was going to put me a lap down, and I got Shane all over my bumper. I think Dave either got in hot or just gave him some room.
Yeah, everything looked to be fine for the number 6 of David Washington. Not sure what exactly happened, but Shane Parrish to the point.
Washington going down pit road.
Yeah, it looks like maybe David Washington, he might have been thinking about pitting a lap or two earlier, but thought he might be getting ran over if he did that, so he decided to wait a lap or two. That could be the case. He's on his way down to his pit stall, as well as Ralph Vandervoorst. Right sides are up from the 12th position. Ralph Vandervoorst down pit lane, so here comes David Washington into his pit stall as Ralph Vandervoorst gets ready to drop the jack on the left sides. And Giovanni Bromanti, as well as the number 20 of Mark Jackson, Mark Jackson headed down pit lane. Dylan C. Jones down pit lane as well. Everybody headed down pit lane, pretty much. Not everybody, I guess, but a lot of people. Buzz Moore, Dylan C. Jones, Giovanni Bromanti, looks like Eric Stanford, Vernon Margheim on his way out. A lot of guys making the pit stop with about 48 laps to go here, actually. Caution now would change everything. It looks like Gerald Campbell's in the lead. We have been green since about lap 53, so these guys can go probably another 20 to 25 laps on their tires. So if somebody can stay out there and manage to trap somebody a lap down, that definitely will change everything. As David Washington right now, he's scored a lap down. He's led most of this race, so when you pit, you're gonna go a lap down until it cycles through. And Robert McFarland has actually made his way back onto the lead lap right now too, with the everybody pitting. He's 13 seconds behind the leader in second place right now. So if a caution were to come out, that would fall in the favor of Robert McFarland, James Ross, Ray Richer, Tim Ranger's up there inside the top 5 right now. They have all yet to pit, but if a caution were to fly right now, they'd be inside the top 5 and they would get to pit with only 8 trucks on the lead lap. And David Washington, he does make his way around Gerald Campbell there, back onto the lead lap. Keeping an eye on that number 60 machine as to when he's coming down pit road. Shane Parrish, looks like he's made his way around him as well, so Shane Parrish is going to get his lap back as well. Eric Stanford should be coming up behind Gerald Campbell pretty soon to try and get his lap back. Kyle Kammer right there in that number 8 Quaker State machine. He's 2 laps down here. It was, as we heard Robert say, I think he's went around here twice tonight, so lucky to still be pointed the right direction. And looks like he's got some fresh tires, though. He's looking to make his way by the number 60.
The drivers that haven't got new tires yet are going to have to pit soon, or they're going to start to fall farther behind.
Yeah, that's exactly right. It's kind of a double-edged sword. If you pit too soon, caution comes out, you can get trapped a lap down. You stay out too long, you lose all the time to everybody pitting sooner than you and having fresh tires for longer than what you had. So it's a tough call. It's hard to get nail it right on the head of when is the perfect time to pit, and especially when we have a run like we have here where we got 75 laps of fuel to run out, and if you run it out, you're only going to have a 25 lap run to the end. So I think that's why you saw a lot of these guys starting to pit around lap 100. We stayed green, and that's about the halfway mark of the run. They're splitting it up in half in about 50 laps apiece. So some of these guys, you might still see them run it out all the way to about lap 120, 125. Gerald Campbell, James Ross, Robert McFarland, Ray Richard, Mark Jackson, I think, are the only ones, and Tim Rangers as well, I think, are the only ones that have not pitted yet. I'm sure these guys are definitely hoping for a caution. The trap looks like Ray Richard headed down pit lane as well. He's got Craig Lerman following him. So Ray Richard, he normally drives a paint scheme that is very similar to the one that he drove for a couple of years in real life, but tonight he's got the Napa Auto Care, the glittery gold Chevrolet Silverado. That's like I said, it's looks pretty glittery. Napa Auto Care he's got on the side of that machine. Looks like he had a pretty solid pit stop there, no issues at all. Making his way back out onto the track, and see where Ray cycles in. Not sure where he was running before the pit stop cycle, but he's already a lap down, so if he's on the lead lap, staying out hurt him a little bit. He's actually 2 laps down now. So Gerald Campbell and James Ross, I do believe, are some of the only ones still staying out. And I'm not sure if Mark Jackson actually stayed out. I could be wrong on that.
Yeah, I think he pitted because he came around me like a you know what.
Yeah, and speaking of Dylan Jones, he's actually looks like he's gaining on his teammate of David Washington there. He did make it inside a second back from that number 6 machine last time. He's working on passing Mark Jackson there, so
Tim Rangers is pitting now.
So Tim Rangers and Gerald Campbell making their way down pit lane. They are almost the last of the drivers staying out there. I think, yeah, so James Ross is pitting as well in his number 61 machine. They're going to be the last of the drivers staying out, and hoping for that caution to come out. Tim Rangers, it looks like, stops in his box perfectly, gets the right sides and the left sides up, enough fuel to make it to the end, windshield tear off, and away he goes. He's making his way down around pit lane and to the exit. Gonna merge back up onto the back straightaway here in just a second and see where he ends up. I think he was running right around the
5th.
I think he was running 5th when it cycled through there, but before everybody started to pit, I do believe he was running around the 16th to 20th position, so we'll see where he ends up when it cycles through, if that paid off for him staying out. I know usually when you do stay out, like you said, you end up losing time, so see how it works out for Tim.
Sometimes I think their strategy is to pit late so they have fresher tires towards the end of the race.
Yeah, you will have fresher tires, and obviously you'll have fresher tires than the guys who pitted 20 laps before you. But yeah, I mean, it's just a matter of if there's enough laps left that you're going to have newer tires for enough laps that you're going to be able to make up the position to make it work. So Tim's definitely got work ahead of him, as he's going to be behind farther than he was before, I do believe. But yeah, like you said, he's going to have fresher rubber for the rest of the race. Just a matter of if he has enough laps to get the job done.
Yeah, that was my strategy, and it did not work. I don't know, about 18th. I lost at least 3 or 4 spots there by staying out an extra 10 laps. Hitting the wall twice has not helped me.
And the battle for the lead is brewing. Dylan Jones has a clear sight to that number 6, David Washington. Washington making a pass on Sean Kalis there, so scratch that. Looks like Dylan C. Jones is going to have another lap truck in between them, but Dylan Jones is looking good on the long run against David Washington here. I know those two drivers are real close together, and I mean, I think they know quite a bit about each other too, so all it's going to take is one mistake out of Washington and Dylan Jones is going to be able to make that pass. And this track is so unique that the line these guys are taking, it's almost like a triangle through the corners. They slide up a little bit and then they cut it back down. Kind of like you would do at Dover, and just you let it slide up the track a little bit, and that leaves room for somebody to put that nose under you and not allow you to cut back down. If you're not able to get that run off, then you got somebody side by side beside you. So Dylan C. Jones is closing that gap, though. He's made it down to 0.6 of a second. David Washington, not sure if he is saving tires, letting that number 31 get to him, burn his stuff up, and then maybe set sail and maybe just hold his ground when he gets to him. So we did have a truck in the wall. I think that's James Ross, actually. He's slow on the apron. Yeah, James Ross. It looks like heavy damage on that number 61. He's gonna pull it down pit lane here. I didn't think he's gonna make it to the service of his pit crew.
I'll tell you one thing, Curtis and Michelle, if you can read the Sharpie on the right side of my truck when this race is over, you'll be doing good, because I have scraped the wall half a dozen times.
Yeah, turn 2 is a dangerous spot, sir, Michelle.
Yeah, these turns on here are not easy.
Yeah, your hood and your right side fender has definitely seen better days, Robert, but still the oh, and it looks like get a little bit of a bumper from the number 66 of Ralph Vandervorst there. He's in the Tropic Art Phillips 66 Chevrolet Silverado here, and Kyle Cameron right behind Robert McFarland. Looks like he's coming up to lap Robert here. So Robert, you're not quite having the run that you thought, or you had potential to have anyway. I mean, considering you won that practice race the other day.
I was up to second there, Curtis and Michelle, and for some reason nobody was calling that caution. Race control didn't call it. I know I saw a water bottle or something on the track, a little bit of snow flurries in turn 4, but I did not get the caution I needed.
Yeah, I think I saw the hot dog wrapper or two fly out of the driver's side window opening of that number 97 machine, so caution wasn't waived. I think the debris actually might be caught on McFarland's grill now.
That is unfortunate.
So McFarland gets his own hamburger wrapper in the grill, caught 2 laps down in 20th spot. Still a pretty good running position for him, though. I mean, there's 33 trucks in the race. Robert, you don't get a chance to race very often, so top half of the field almost is pretty darn good for you, and you said you slapped the wall a few times, so you haven't really helped yourself out.
Yeah, I tell you one, a couple laps back I was behind the Bud machine and I was thirsty. I'm a whole lot more thirsty now. I'm behind the Quaker State machine. I don't know if I should partake in the Quaker State or not.
Yeah, I think you should stick motor oil in your engine and not in your mouth, but
how's it looking up front for the lead?
Dylan C. Jones to the back bumper of the number 6 of David Washington. Looks like he's caught him, so I mean, battle for the lead pretty much. David Washington makes one mistake and Dylan Jones is right there, so I'm sure Dylan Jones is probably going to try and wait for a mistake until about 10 to go, and then he's really going to go for it. So Washington has his hands full. I'm sure a lot of guys picked David Washington for the pizza giveaway tonight, and I'm not sure if anybody would have picked Dylan Jones unless they really know who he is and to know that he had the ability to drive up through the field. I'm sure nobody would have just picked him at random because he started at the back. So David Washington,
yeah, I'm wondering.
He's holding strong up there. I mean, he's keeping the gap between 1 and 5 car lengths.
I'm curious, Curtis and Michelle, how many green flag laps have we run here? It's got to be over 70.
Yeah, I think we're about 85 laps deep into this green flag run, or just shy of that anyway. I think we went back green around lap 51 to 52 approximately. And yeah, so if we go green to the end here, it'll be almost a 100 lap run to the end, closing in on 10 laps to go. This time by, it will be 12 to go at the line. David Washington still at the lead, and you keep an eye on that battle with Dylan C. Jones. One mistake, like I said, and anything can change. So
yes, sir, Curtis, I want to throw in real quick. We only got a few laps to go. For the fans to know, this is the Clash in the Past 150 here at Rockingham. And of course, fans will let you know who wins the free pizza here when the race is over. But the drivers tonight are actually battling for some money themselves. The highest finishing throwback truck scheme tonight, fans, will win a free or a $20 bonus, courtesy of one of our drivers who sponsored the race, Gerald Campbell. And another driver, could be the same one, who accurately picked my finishing position, will also win a $20 bonus. So we've got drivers fighting for some money, as well as the fans that were picking for a free pizza.
10 laps to go, Robert, and the battle for the lead is heating up. Just looking for other battles amongst the top 3 to 10 here. Looks like Shane Parrish is safely in the 3rd position. Mark Jackson safely in 4th. Eric Stanford safely in 5th, with William Morse safely in 6th. A lot of these guys making their way around lap traffic. Gary Sexton, he's made his way all the way up to the 7th position, so still in the lead lap. Ralph Vandervorst rounds out your lead lap trucks.
I'll tell you one thing, Curtis, a lot of these trucks pitted way before I did. And I think their tires are shot, because I'm catching some of these guys.
Yeah, a lot of these guys' tires are going to be shot, and Robert, you got the leaders coming behind you, and the battle for the lead is heating up, like I said. I mean, Sean Kalis looks like he's going to let him by. David Washington, I don't know if he got a little bit looser, if he cut it down all the way to the apron intentionally. Probably didn't get the angle entry that he wanted there, and the 38 gets up into the wall in front of them. As scary moments for the leaders there as they get to the back bumper. Robert McFarland is side by side with the number 4 machine right now, and they get it situated. It looks like the 4 stays high for them in turns 1 and 2. Robert McFarland's going to let them by here next corner, I'm sure. And it's going to be 5 laps to go this time by. Can Washington hold on?
I've got a bird's eye view of this 1st and 2nd place position. It definitely looks like Dylan C. Jones and that Quaker State number 31 is all over the back bumper of Dave Washington. This is a battle of 2 of the greatest drivers in our series, Curtis and Michelle, as you both know. Fans, you know as well. With these laps winding down, I'm going to try to keep track with them and give you a play-by-play from behind the steering wheel here. It definitely looks like Dave Washington has got a couple of truck length advantage, although Dylan C. Jones is right in his tire tracks. It looks like David drifts up just a tad, but they're both hug the yellow line coming through turn number 2. And these guys have got a perfect driving line as they battle some more lap traffic in front of them. Looks like they're going to try to get around Ivan Jones. And I do not see Dylan Jones making any headway at this point. I think it's going to have to be a big mistake on David Washington's part, or some other traffic causing a change in this lead.
Yeah, David Washington just not making the mistake that Dylan Jones needs him to make. And Washington, a lot of these guys are actually bumping it a little bit down off the apron there in turn 3. It might be a get the truck to turn a little bit. Popsicle sticks in the air as David Washington passes the flag stand for the third last time tonight, I guess. But Dylan Jones is right on the back bumper as they head into turn 3. David Washington coming out of turn 4. They're going to take the white flag this time by. And can Dylan Jones do anything here on the final lap? These guys are teammates, so I'm not sure if Dylan Jones is going to pull anything, but if he is, now is going to be the time. Backstretch into turn 3 for the final time. Dylan Jones puts the bumper to David Washington, and we're going to see a bump and run. Washington holds on, coming out of turn 4. David Washington holds on and gets the win. Grabs that extra $20 for running that retro paint scheme here tonight. What a finish. Dylan Jones gives him the bump and run. Tries to give him the bump and run into the final turn. Washington holds on to it. What a battle, what a finish. And Shane Parrish going to bring it home in 3rd position with Mark Jackson in 4th. Eric Stanford rounds out your top 5.
Yeah, I tell you what, that was an incredible run to the checkered flags. I know I had my tongue sticking out, and these leaders that had, and I just
absolutely junks them. That's going to be a penalty. No, I'm just kidding. I think David Washington started doing his donuts right into the path that Robert McFarlane was going to drive through, and yeah, that happened. So that's usually what Kurt Busch's trucks look like anyway, so that's okay.
I tell you what, fans, we're going to be right back in just a minute. We're not going anywhere. We're going to get these top 3 finishers up for interviews real quick, and I'm sure David Washington's going to have a couple words for me. Curtis, if you go through the finishing order.
Okay, so David Washington gets the win here tonight. Dylan C. Jones, he gave it all he had. He gave David Washington a little bit of a punt into turn 3 on the white flag lap, but wasn't able to make the pass. Brings it home in 2nd. Shane Parrish, 3rd place tonight. Mark Jackson, another solid top 5 finish for him here tonight. Eric Stanford finishes 5th. William E. Moore 6th. Gary Sexton in 7th. Ralph Vandervorst rounds out your lead lap trucks as we had almost a 100 lap run to the end. Only 8 trucks finish on the lead lap. Gio Bromanti finishes 9th. Buzz Moore rounds out your top 10.
Yes, sir, Curtis. Real quick, again, who was 2nd and 3rd there?
Dylan C. Jones and Shane Parrish.
Awesome. Thanks. Go ahead.
Gerald Campbell finishes 11th here tonight. Tyler Chalk finishes 12th. Kyle Kammer 13th. Craig Lerman 14th. Ray Richer rounds out your top 15 with Tim Rangers finishes 16th tonight. Robert McFarlane finishes 17th. Robert, that's pretty good from starting in 30 seconds, sorry. So William Locklear finishes just behind you in 18th. Ivan Garcia finishes 19th. Sean Kalis 20th. Vernon Markheim 21st. Jeff Martin 22nd. Wesley Whitfield 23rd. Judd Danielson 24th. James Ross finishes 25th here tonight. Andrew Kessler 26th. Gabriel Wood 27th. 28th goes to Gene Collum with William Davis finishing 29th. Mike Donahue rounds out your top 30. JP Arsenault finishes 31st. Donald Stewart 32nd. And rounding out your field, unfortunate night for Ronald Klein in 33rd.
All right, thank you, Curtis.
Getting ready to try and waiting for Shane Parrish to unbuckle his race belts here. He jumps out of the truck, and Shane, you finished 3rd place here tonight. Solid run for you all night. You qualified in 5th. You pretty much stayed inside the top 5 all night. You're in 2nd for quite a while there. Just didn't have anything for David Washington, and when Dylan Jones made his way up there, you couldn't hold him off. So 3rd place is always good too, though. Tell us about your race a little bit.
Well, the race went really good, just trying to save the tires and move on, and it worked out there at the end. That last pit stop, I just went in the pits way too weak, cost myself about 6 seconds, so really took me way out of the chance for a win. I actually drove around Dave there right before that pit stop sequence before, so I was doing really well, feeling good. But overall, the CCR truck ran really, really good. Appreciate the setup from our team, and really happy to be here and to have one of Bill Elliott's very rare paint jobs here tonight.
All right, Shane, well, I know you just touched on who you want to thank here tonight, but yeah, I mean, going back to that pit stop, I definitely saw you make the pass on David Washington before that cycle of pit stops happened. What exactly happened that slowed you down so much? I mean, I know you're definitely in contention of the win before that happened.
Well, I think one of the biggest things is, not being here. I think this is one of the first times I've ever ran this track, so I didn't really do enough practicing pitting, which I should have done. Wasn't expecting the green flag runs that we had, so just a driver error and not doing that. I'll make sure next time I come to a track to make sure I practice that entrance and get in that pit road a lot better, because that did really hurt me. But over and all, it was a great night. I want to thank the fans, everybody, for showing up and looking at all the really nice paint jobs. It was a fun and interesting night.
All right, Shane, well, congratulations on your third place finish, and we'll let you go and celebrate. I do believe that
Michelle has got a hold, I think, of Dylan Jones. Michelle, take it away. Michelle. I tell you what, Michelle is probably... You there, Michelle?
I'm here.
Sorry about that. I should have given you a better warning than that. My bad. Dylan Jones finished second. Do you have a couple questions for him?
I do. Looks like, Dylan, you started at 20. You qualified 28th. You made it all the way up to second tonight. How was your race?
I think starting way back there, we're going to say it was pretty good. We might not come home with the W, but driving back, I think we started like 28th on one of those the last caution or something. We're able to drive up there. At the end of the green flag pit stop stints, our car was really good. We were flying. Some of those guys really burnt up their tires, and we were able to make up a lot of time.
Well, you made a good battle for first place with David Washington. Congratulations.
Thanks. I maybe should have drove it in that last corner a little bit harder. Give him a little bit more bumper, but we checked out.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Hey, we had a little devil on one shoulder, an angel on the other going into that last turn.
Yes, sir, Dylan. Who would you like to thank for this second place finish? You do have a great looking paint scheme on your truck. I have not seen that in a long time.
Thank you. Yeah, I really like this paint scheme. It's pretty cool. Just thank all the guys at Domino's and everyone in the league. It was a great, fun race.
All right, appreciate that very much, Dylan. We'll look forward to talking to you soon. It looks like now we have in victory circle here at Rockingham. Rockingham has not seen a victory celebration like this in a long time. Congratulations, Dave Washington. You pretty much had the field covered tonight. You did have a couple of challenges during the night. Did you have any other kind of challenges, or did you have to adapt any with the changing track conditions, or with some of the slower trucks in front of you like myself to maintain your speed?
Yeah, that's pretty much it tonight. I really wasn't trying to get in lap traffic, to tell you the truth. I was trying to, I'd get out a little bit and then back it up to Eric there, and, in case it came down to fuel mileage race. So I really didn't try to push it at all. Then, just trying to be tiptoe through lap cars there and not make any mistakes.
Well, that is awesome. I wanted to let you know that we do have a free pizza winner. We have Lindsay Rommel. I might be mispronouncing his or her name, from Bismarck, North Dakota. I'm going to try to get them on the phone real quick. But go ahead and, Dave, and tell us anything else about your race. Again, I apologize for wrecking you there at the end. You had a beautiful truck with not a scratch on it, I think, until the 97 Sharpie wanted to make some marks all over it.
I thought that was
Until you
Jones.
Kurt Bushed him.
Yeah, I thought that was Jones messing around with me, and then I'm like, Robert, holy cow. No, it was a good race. I mean, everybody did what they were supposed to do. Everybody ran good. Mark, Eric, Shane, Buzz had a really good run going there for a little while until he couldn't get it rolled up in time in that one wreck. But overall, the guys were good. Really, no complaints at all.
Very good, Dave. Who would you like to thank for your win tonight? And are we going to be lucky enough to see you in some more of these non-point special event races and the trucks going forward?
Yeah, we have to play it by ear because summertime's coming and we start full training during the week, so it's kind of tough to get on certain nights. But yeah, thank you guys for putting this on tonight. I enjoy coming out, and I don't really drive the trucks too much, so whatever practice I get is usually if you guys put up a room or the practice that Jeff put up tonight. But that's really it. I'm an A-car guy, but this is a lot of fun right here.
I tell you what, we definitely appreciate you being here, and I think a lot of drivers are learning a lot from you. And you're learning a little bit about these trucks from what I can understand. So congratulations there, Dave, and you have a great week. We'll talk to you soon.
Appreciate it. Plus, I got to give a big shout out to D'Amico for the broadcast. He sponsors on the Cup car there, so big shout out to him. I'll see you guys later.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Dave. And I do want to mention we did not get a chance to have a commercial break. And fans, we do want to make sure you do understand none of this would happen tonight without Michael D'Amico and All Pro Broadcasting. So fans, if you're watching and you enjoyed this race, or you got some suggestions for us, make sure you click that subscribe button. We'd love to have our fans be automatically notified for all the races, which we have Wednesday night, Thursday night, and tomorrow night's another great race, the Premier Pioneer 200 from Pocono and Throwback Paint Scheme Xfinity cars. And also our newest series, the Renegade Dirt Series, is on Sunday nights at 8:50 p.m. Eastern. You want to make sure you tune into that, but if you click the subscribe button right now, fans, you will be notified automatically. You will not miss your chance to win a free pizza. Like I said, we did have a winner tonight. His name is Lindsey Bermel. He is from North Dakota, and I'm calling him right now to see if we can get him on the phone or her on the phone. I'm not even sure. The phone is ringing. We'll see exactly if they pick up or not and find out what kind of pizza they want over the weekend. Hello, this is Robert with Domino's TYJ Racing. Is this Lindsay?
This is she.
She. Very good. Congratulations on winning the pizza. I want to ask you real quick a couple questions, Lindsay. How did you hear about our races, and what kind of pizza do you want over the weekend?
My brother races on here.
What's his name?
Brian Coote.
Oh, yeah. He's a great driver. Good to know. Excellent. So, yeah, just make sure you text me over the weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, whenever it's convenient for you and your family, and you'll get that large 3-topping pizza. Congratulations again, Lindsay, and thanks for watching. Make sure you click that subscribe button. Have a good night. Thank you. I tell you what, fans, that doesn't happen all the time. Some of these people throw their pick in. The race is over. They think they hadn't won. They go off and do something. I try to get in touch with them before we get done with the broadcast, and I can't catch them. Sometimes, like tonight, we get lucky, and we're able to catch that fan, and so we're excited to hear that Lindsay, she won that pizza tonight. So fans, make sure you click that subscribe button so you will be notified. A couple quick thoughts here I wanted to ask Michelle. You did a great job tonight, Michelle. Thank you so much. What are your last thoughts for the race tonight?
Thank you, Robert, for having me here tonight. It was a great race. A lot of green flag laps were run, and I hope to be back again.
Well, you definitely will be back. And Curtis, do you have any last thoughts on how this race went?
Yeah, I mean, I'm impressed with Rockingham. Kind of wish I drove this track a little bit sooner than I did, but another good race for an off week for the Dented Fenders Truck Series, and looking forward to next week again. Trucks will go back into points racing action.
Yeah, appreciate that. And then a couple more quick updates for the fans and everybody else. The top finishing throwback scheme was Dave Washington, so he will win that $20 extra bonus. And what position did you have me down as finishing there, Curtis and Michelle?
You finished 17th.
17th. Okay, I've got one of the drivers picked me to finish 16th. I got another driver said I was gonna finish 19th. I'm looking at these texts that came in earlier tonight. Another driver said I'd finish 16th. That's 2. Another guy said I'd finish in, looks like, 19th. I don't think anybody picked me to finish 17th, so I'm able to save my $20 bill for next time. Again, fans, thank you so much for watching. For Michelle Ringers, Curtis Young, Michael D'Amico, and all the drivers here in the Domino's TYJ Racing Dented Fender Truck Series, thank you, fans, and make sure you tune in tomorrow night, 8:50 p.m. Eastern, for another chance to win your large free 3-topping pizza. Have a great night, fans.
Ridley, driver of the number 0 JD Motorsports Chevrolet, and you're watching All Pro Broadcasting.